I don't know if I'm actually streaming right now. I'm using a new approach to OBS's streaming capabilities. The stream is not showing up on YouTube that I can tell. If you're hearing this, I apologize. Oh, okay. Look at that. Okay, I think I actually am streaming. All right, well, welcome everyone. My plan at the moment is to do a review of the positions that I'm in my Homeworld games on Board Game Arena, and I'm also going to create an open table that somebody could drop into if they feel like. So if I don't know if many people are playing real time. If somebody shows up, then I'll play a game live on the stream, which nobody will probably watch live, but if you do happen to watch live, that's great. And I'll say hi to you then. Otherwise, you'll be watching this in the future. Anyway, my plan while I wait to see if anybody shows up to the table is to take a look at positions in these other games that I'm currently playing turn-based. So I'm in 6 games right now, and this is one. This is a game with tautological, and it gets pretty even at the moment, though I'm trying to keep him shut out of yellow. So my tentative plan, we haven't moved in this game for a few days, so, and that's the case in a few of these games. I haven't studied the position carefully. I didn't prepare for this. So my tentative plan is to sacrifice my large green to build both of the remaining yellow pieces and probably another green. So I'll build maybe a small yellow here in Faust, large yellow in Bleb, and then build a medium green down here in my home. I think I would want the larger ship in Bleb for slightly better defense. So I've got more ships there. So a large ship where I've got more ships, it's covering more ships. Just in case if he were to sacrifice his medium yellow, he could move one of his larges to either of my colonies. And I'd rather have the more populated colony better defended. Although it is his turn right now, so he could do that right this minute. And if he were to, for example, sacrifice his medium yellow to move his large, let's say, green to Blib, I'd have to evacuate. That wouldn't be so good. But he would be sacrificing his only yellow. He's a little unlikely to do that. Then he wouldn't have any yellow. Not having yellow is one of the most crushing positions to be in. Yeah, so I think he's likely to just build a medium green that's pretty neutral. Of course, if he does that, then my plan to sacrifice my large green to build yellow, yellow, green will open up a large green that he could build. So if he does that, I might, instead of building a medium green, build a small blue. Yeah, okay, so the thing I'm most scared of is moves his large green to Bleb. Gosh, what would I do? I don't know what I would do in that case. That's that's pretty scary. I'm gonna hope he doesn't do that. All right, let's look at a different game. Here's my game with Orphan Soup. Um, Orphan Soup is a relatively new player, and I've got a red shutout going here. Orphan Soup's in trouble. So he should run away his little green, and then I'll build a large red here. You know, if he were to move his little green to a large red system, that would at least mean I wouldn't get another large ship. Although I would probably follow him there and capture his little green. But then there's two ships of that system. It's more difficult to use as an investment. That's not crazy bad for him. He's quite a bit behind in material either way. And of course he's got no red, and he he were to trade his large for the red, he'll never get another red, and so he's still in trouble. So that's how that game's going. Let's see. Ooh. Alright, well this one I'm a little worried about. We've got a pretty good green advantage. But my opponent is up in material and has two large yellows, which is always a scary thing. He could build a large red right now. I don't like this. I don't know how it came to this, but it did. He may build a large red right now. It's pretty likely, in fact. So it looks like my opponent started turns a couple of times and thought better of it. Okay, so sacrifice large green. We can see what he's thinking about here. Sacrifice the green, build his green back, built red at home, and built red in Alti. Decided he didn't like that. Actually pretty good. While I would be interested, of course, in catastropheing his reds. If he built a third one and had three, I could sacrifice the medium yellow to move a red in there for a catastrophe, but that costs me two medium ships for his two small ships. The large he built just then, so that feels pretty free. I think that's quite a good move for him. I think he should have stuck with that. And he thought about moving a Y1 to a new B3 system. Samori. No. That doesn't seem necessary. This game is not going great. If it were my turn right now, I would strongly consider sacrificing my life. And this might be what he's worried about and why he's not didn't commit to that turn where he built two large reds. I would strongly consider sacrificing my large yellow to move little yellow to Alti, medium yellow to somewhere, and then Alti for the yellow catastrophe. I'd lose small, medium, large to kill two larges, but I would be completely out of yellow. This is not going great. It's yeah, and I could build one blue here, but that opens up the large blue to him. I could build both of the blues, but then he can catastrophe all of them if I build two at once. I could build a large red, and you know that's yeah. So it's in a way it's safer for me to build. Well, no, he can safely build a large red in his home, but it's not too bad for me to build a large red here because in order to catastrophe it, my opponent would have to sacrifice a large yellow. Move a red two times. So that could be a lot worse. Okay, well this one's not going great for me, but that's the state of things there. Just checking to see if I've got any viewers. I kind of doubt it. How do I go to the control panel for? Ah, views 0. That is not unexpected. All right. Let's take a look at. So I'm actually in 2 games with meaningful candy right now. Looks like this one is going pretty well. I've done something a little spooky. I have not left a large in my home world. I think I had a shopping spree opportunity I couldn't afford to pass up. I'm up a large. Last thing I did was the shopping spree. I sacrificed my green 3, built the 2 blues, and a little green. So what should my opponent do? I think it would not be too crazy to sacrifice medium yellow to move these 2 blues into bleb and destroy my large and medium. You'd lose 2 mediums and a small for a medium and a large. Not too bad. Having a second large ship is really powerful. If he doesn't do that, I'm going to try to use my large ships to terrorize him. What else should he be looking at? If he were to build green, he'd open up the larges for me. If he built yellow, he'd open up the larges for me, and I don't think he can afford to sacrifice the green, his large green, his only large, to build all of the yellows at once, both because there would be 3 in one of the 2 systems where he did, and I could catastrophe, and I could sacrifice my medium yellow to move a large into his home and threaten to start capturing things. Although, actually, in that case... Okay, so if you've lost track of my train of thought here, I'm contemplating what happens if he sacrifices his large green to build all 3 of the yellow ships. Let's say he builds small yellow here in Samori, then a large, and then a large in Alti. Oh, just a second. I might have... Oh, okay. Somebody accepted my challenge. I'm in a game with Slurm. All right. Well, I don't know who this is, but it looks like they've been playing some. They've got a score of 136. So they've won a few games. This may be no slouch. Turn on the sounds. Hopefully they're not too annoying. I always play with the sound off, and I don't actually know what sounds will take place in the Homeworlds game. I think it's going to make swooshing noises more often than you might like. If you don't know, I implemented Homeworlds here, so this is my code that's running, and so I'm constantly thinking about things that I could improve. And since I don't play with the sound on, I don't know what the sound experience is like. It could be that with each server call, with each changed state, the swoosh sounds plays. It is possible that Worm wandered away. Notice that the game started. I don't play real-time games much, so I don't remember exactly how the interface works there. I think it's something like if you click to join a table, it'll ask you, are you ready to start the game? And if you say yes, then the game starts as soon as everybody's said yes. But if, like in this case, it took me a while to notice that the game had been joined, and so they may have given up and wandered away. Um, Type something friendly. I know he's played some. He's got 136 points, so he's won a few games. Let's spy on their game history. 4 turn-based games right now. Okay, so they're playing 4 games right. Oh, I'm playing a game with them. Oh no, this is the real time one. Yeah, yeah. Playing with Tornado, DJ Cat, and Riot. It's fun that there are a whole bunch of Homeworlds players that I do not know. I used to know most of the people on Super Duper games, so I went against this 80 Mercury. Just those two? That's all I'm seeing. Oh, well, gosh, they play. Person plays a lot of games. Okay. They lost to DJ Cat. There now. Okay. DJ Cat got pretty good pretty fast. Yeah, they're mostly winning. All right, well, I won't feel too bad if I do happen to crush them then. Uh-oh. Hmm. All right, well, it looks like I was too slow to join the game and they wandered away. Well, I will not skip them. I will give them quite a bit of extra time if they need it. All right. In the meantime, we were talking about this game. Things are pretty good here. It's always a little scary to leave my homeworld without a large, but to kill my large, meaningful candy would have to sacrifice quite a bit. Although, okay, oh yeah. The thing I was thinking about was if they sacrifice their big green to build, let's say, small and a large in Samori and a large in Alti. I could do the obvious thing, which is to move my medium yellow into Samori for the catastrophe. That's probably what I would do, because the invasion of their homeworld, I think, would actually not work out for me. If I sacrifice my medium yellow to move a big blue into their home, I only get to attack once. I got one little red, although I would be capturing their little red with my first capture. And so, sorry, I'm skipping turns here. So I sacrifice my medium yellow to move my blue in there. I think what they would do is sacrifice their large yellow that they just built in Alti to move one, maybe even two of these blues back into their home and move their large into my home. So they will win in 2 turns by capturing my greens unless I reinforce. And of course, if I reinforce one at a time, they capture one at a time, and that doesn't make any difference. So let's see. I sacrifice my little red to capture their little red. They capture my little green. I capture one of their blues. They capture my other green, and they win. Okay, yeah. So the attack doesn't work. So I think if they did build all that yellow, I would catastrophe. Okay, so there's the plan. All right, my other game with meaningful candy, I left a note for myself. His home is a Gemini. You can leave notes on this website so that you don't forget important things. Super Duper Games has that too. And in this case, it can be really easy if you're playing a lot of games to forget if somebody has a Gemini and if you've got a small universe. And forgetting can be a really big problem. So he's focusing reds, I'm focusing yellows. And at the moment, he can't trade, he can only trade for yellow in his home, and that would mean giving up his only green. I've already got a red ship, so I feel pretty good about that. I don't think I'll get blocked out of red entirely. He's taken the aggressive position twice here. He's moved both of his medium reds just outside my home. A little spooky, but depending on what he does, if it were my turn now, I would consider at least moving my large to bleb just to get him out of there. I think he would move away, and then his red wouldn't be in attacking position anymore. I wouldn't have a large in my home anymore, nor a green. Okay, well maybe that's not so good. What I would like to do, it doesn't cost me too much, is start spreading out my yellows so I can get bigger pieces, but if he keeps going with red, I can't build another red safely. I think I will have to... Yeah, if he were to build a small red right now, the reds are open and I can't build, so I would definitely move my medium red to... This is the trouble with picking banker in a small universe with both of us take large green ships. Is there is only one large green system. So I would not be able to build a large red. Okay, so if he builds small red, or actually pretty much no matter what he does, I will be moving my medium red to a large yellow. And then he will probably build a large red. And I will move my medium red to, say, a medium green. He can't threaten it with his new red because he doesn't have a yellow to get there. He can't threaten me with his old large ship because it's not connected if I pick a medium. And then he could trade away his little red to be annoying, which is what he should do. But if he doesn't, then I'd build large red. Okay, and at that point, we're probably getting too far down the theoretical to be useful. Okay. Well then. So there's some thoughts. I think he should build a small red right now, because that puts me out to dry. So if he builds a small red, I could move out my little yellow. And then if he builds a large red, I go on a shopping spree. I sacrifice my large green to build the remaining medium yellows and a large yellow. And that's actually not feeling too bad, even though we'll get a large ship, an additional large ship before I do. Getting shut out of yellows is pretty brutal. I seem to always use the word brutal to describe that scenario. Okay, well, that's that game. Looks like end over here has not made a move. I wish I'd noticed immediately and hopped right into that window so we'd actually be playing a game here. All right, I could play on my other account. I have one other account that I made for the purpose of making tutorials that I can play with myself. And, make tutorial games that way. Okay, here's this game, Netrog. Looks like they've won a game, maybe two. We got 31 points. We were just chatting about something. Oh, yeah, they moved their large red into Bleb because I didn't have a red ship to capture it, but I had a red ship elsewhere that I could sacrifice. So they haven't played this game very much, I think. They sort of stumbled into that. So I am vastly ahead in material. And this person also thought about, so they built a little red. I wonder if some people are taking their turn and accidentally hitting restart instead of end turn. That only just occurred to me. I'll have to think about what I can do about that. Quick peek to see if anybody is watching. Nope, nobody watching. I'm talking like nobody's watching because nobody is watching. All right. I apologize for being a strange individual. That's just how I am. Let's see what's going on here. So yellow-wise, he's actually got more yellow than me, then that may change. And I've got a yellow investment here. One concern is that my only red is that large, which I'd rather not sacrifice if I didn't have to. So if he were to invade, say, Samori with a medium yellow, to capture it, I would have to sacrifice my big red, which is not ideal. I think on my turn, I'd like to build red. Or finish off the yellows, build a medium yellow. I think those is pretty attractive. You know, really the story here, I think, is that I am, well, but besides that I've taken his large ship and he's in big trouble for that reason, I am dominating the greens. He has no green. He's got a green home star. And to trade for green, right now, for example, he'd lose the only red that he has in his home, or he'd have to do it with his large, and if he trades his large yellow for a green, he'll never get another green ship. Not only because if I can then build the last one, but also because if he were to ever... So this is something that happens pretty often. If you start getting shut out, a person will trade the large at their home for the color that they're getting shut out of. And pretty often it matches one of their stars. And then they can never build that color, because if they build in a color that matches one of their stars, their opponent is usually ready to move in one more ship for the catastrophe to destroy their large ship and a star, and then it's going to be all over. I think it's something that's happening here too. All right, well, that's all of the games that I'm in right now. And I don't think anybody's made a move in any of these turn-based games while we've just been sitting here. Nope, doesn't look like it. And unfortunately, this game that somebody actually did join me, but then they wandered away. They're only in. I wonder what they're doing. They're in 4 turn-based games. They could be making moves in these games, but it shouldn't have taken this long, I don't think. Well, the next time I get a chance to do a stream, I will also try to play a game live and discuss the strategy as I go. Thanks for, although nobody tuned in, I did not schedule this ahead of time, so nobody had any advanced notice. So it's not too surprising that nobody showed up. But you may be watching this in the future. if you are watching this in the future and have any suggestions for how I can do this much, much better, then please let me know. Thanks and have a good day.